Picture yourself walking through any American neighborhood built before 1950. The houses are made of brick, solid dark red brick, laid by hand, course by course. The walls are thick. The houses look serious. They look like they were built to outlast everyone who ever lived in them. Now, drive through any suburb built after 1980. Vinyl, wood frame, panels made in a factory and snapped together on site. Houses that look like they could be taken apart in a weekend. Something changed. It happened fast, driven by one emergency, one government program, and one man who figured out how to build a house in 16 minutes. And almost nobody noticed it happening. Before World War II, brick wasn't a luxury. It was just how you built. Walk through a working-class neighborhood in Chicago, Baltimore, or Philadelphia in the 1930s, and almost everything around you was brick. Not a thin, decorative layer. Actual, structural brick. Walls 12 inches thick in some places. Houses that carried their own weight directly into the ground. Regular people lived in them. Factory workers, immigrants, families of 5 in 1,200 square feet. Those houses were built to last 200 years, and many of them have. Then the war ended. 12 million soldiers came home in 1945. They wanted houses immediately, and the country had nowhere near enough of them. The federal government estimated a shortage of 5 million homes, and one builder saw that crisis and decided to solve it his way. His name was William Levitt. In 1947, on 4,000 acres of potato fields on Long Island, he started building houses using a method borrowed from Henry Ford. Levitt broke construction into 26 separate steps. Each crew did one step only, moving house to house like workers on an assembly line. At peak production, his operation completed between 10 and 12 new houses every single day. And this is what ended brick. Brick cannot be built on an assembly line. Every brick has to be laid by a skilled mason, one at a time, at a pace you cannot rush. Levitt wasn't interested in that. He built with wood frames and concrete slabs, fast, cheap, and backed by government mortgages with zero down payment for veterans. A 4-room house for $6,999. No money down. Thousands of young couples camped outside in the cold just for the chance to buy one. But here's what almost nobody talks about. Levitt's houses were deliberately designed to look nothing like the brick row houses people had left behind in the city. That was a feature, not a flaw. Light, airy, surrounded by grass, a yard, a driveway, space. The message was clear. Brick is the past. This is the future. And millions of people believed it. When Levitt and every builder who copied him abandoned brick, the entire industry built around it collapsed. Demand for skilled masons fell off a cliff. Apprenticeship programs shut down. Local brick manufacturers that had supplied neighborhoods for generations couldn't survive. Then, in the early 1960s, something arrived that finished the job. Vinyl siding. A company called Crane Plastics introduced vinyl panels in 1958. Early versions cracked and faded. But by the 1970s and 80s, vinyl had become something genuinely hard to argue against. It didn't rot. It didn't need painting. A contractor could clad an entire house in a day. By the year 2000, vinyl was installed on nearly 40% of all new American homes. Brick had fallen to 20%. And here's the detail that changes how you see every suburb you've ever driven through. Most homes that look like brick today aren't brick. They're wood frames wearing a brick costume, a layer of thin tiles about an inch thick, tied to the outside of a wood frame wall. If you removed it, the house would still stand. The brick is doing nothing. It's decoration. The thing that made brick brick, that it was the house, that it held the weight, that's gone. A real brick house, properly built, can last 300 years. There are homes in Baltimore and Philadelphia standing strong after a century and a half with no major structural repair. The average American wood frame house is expected to last 50 to 100 years, if the moisture stays out. If it gets in behind the vinyl, you get rot inside walls that look fine from the outside. In Pennsylvania alone, multiple major home builders have faced multi-million-dollar lawsuits over exactly this. Brand new houses falling apart behind a perfect facade. We built our neighborhoods to expire. The brick house wasn't just a material choice, it was a declaration. I'm building something that will outlast me. When Levitt put up 12 houses a day, he made a different declaration. We need houses now, speed now, affordability now. Both things were true. The veterans needed homes. The country needed to move fast. But somewhere between the emergency of 1947 and the suburbs of today, the temporary became permanent, and the houses built to last a lifetime became the model for houses built to last a mortgage. Today, full structural masonry costs roughly triple what wood frame construction costs. We didn't lose brick because it stopped working. We lost it because in one urgent moment, we chose speed over permanence. And then, we never went back. The old houses are still out there. Walk through any pre-war neighborhood and you'll see them. Still solid, still doing exactly what they were built to do. Maybe the real question isn't why we stopped building them. Maybe it's why we're still okay with that. If this kind of story interests you, there's a video right here about what happened to the American front porch and why its disappearance changed something deeper than just the look of our streets.